On these weekly Sunday sunset chats. The week ahead, well, it improves after tonight's chance for downpours, maybe even a few instances of patchy flooding. We slowly reduce our rain chances going forward, but we do warm up and get steamy at times this week. So we'll talk about all of that. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. The latest forecast I wrote is the PM update on capitalweathergang.com, or go directly to CWG.news/latest. And again, slight rain chances Monday, Tuesday, but much less than what we're seeing through tonight, with some isolated downpours that could produce flooding. Remember, turn around, don't drown. The driest day of this week, likely to be Wednesday. The hottest and steamiest day this week, likely to be Thursday. And then rain chances come back into the picture, more likelihood of them on Friday, bringing temperatures down a little bit after we kind of get back into the 90s for 1, 2, perhaps 3 days this week, adding to our count of our 90-degree or hotter days in the DC area. Still running a little below average for this time of year, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Hello, Maria. Thanks for tuning in. And David, hello. Good evening to you as well. Radar check. Well, we've got plenty of rain in the area. This is probably the heaviest activity we're seeing right now is moving through, but we can't rule out a few more rumbles of thunder and downpours into the early morning hours. So stay a little bit weather aware if you're out and about driving late tonight. Remember, if you encounter floodwaters in front of you and any means you're traveling, please turn around and don't drown. But luckily, we're so far not seeing any instances of flooding, no flood watch in effect, but we're just watching for that slight chance of some downpours that could produce flooding. So keep that in mind as well. And dew points this week, they could oscillate. We could see some low 70s, maybe mid 70s by the end of this week, but we do get some breaks, some dips in the dew point, maybe near 60 degrees fresh air for this time of year on Wednesday, when rain chances also go down precipitously. Probably rain-free on Wednesday. Just slight rain chances on Monday and Tuesday. Can't rule it out there as well. Hoping for a dry weekend in Sperryville. I'm worried about Saturday, Elizabeth. We could still have a front in the area. Hello, Aaron. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Paul. Hot yet again. No, I'm sorry. And Peter, the August outlook should be out tomorrow, but I have taken my own kind of sneak preview, and August does look like temperatures want to be very good chance above average. Precipitation is leaning above average as well, but we'll have all the nuanced and awesome details for you likely tomorrow on the blog on capitalweathergang.com. My latest forecast, relatively short-term forecast, is in the PM update here at CWG.news/latest, but of course 24/7 we're at capitalweathergang.com. Let's look ahead to the hottest and steamiest day of this week. I'm flagging that for Thursday. Heat index values could be in the upper 90s, maybe some mid 100s south and east of town. So just be mentally prepared for that. At least we're only talking about one day like this where we could maybe see a heat advisory issued, but remains to be seen as we get closer to Thursday. Just try and schedule some strenuous activities other days besides Thursday. That would be one recommendation. And if you must be out Thursday in the direct midday sunlight, not only do I want you to wear sunscreen, please, but make sure you have some water, mindfully hydrate, maybe some salty snacks or some electrolytes as well. But again, only one day this week looking this hot. In the meantime, shorter term, we're watching kind of a 5-10% chance of some flooding downpours. In the yellow west along the I-81 corridor, as I pointed out in my PM update, we have over 15% chance of flooding downpours tonight, and can't completely rule out a heavy downpour tomorrow. 5-10% chance around the DC area. We see just one quick downpour that could lead to a quick instance of flooding. So just don't completely think we're out of the woods tomorrow. Even though it is trending drier, trending sunnier tomorrow, we could still see a quick downpour here or there, quick inch of rain. All right, here it is, our earlier and earlier times that I'm talking to you on Sunday as the sunset gets earlier and earlier. We're after the summer solstice, so I got to keep talking to you earlier as the sunset gets earlier, now down to 8:20 p.m. in DC. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook simulcasting to you tonight. Please let me know if you have any questions and comments. I like seeing Aaron and Jack and Arlene reporting some hot weather. And David, indeed, summertime is here, and one day is okay for heat index values in the upper 90s to maybe low 100s. Aaron, on Thursday. I'm glad you agree. Again, I'm Camden Walker at capitalweathergang.com. We're there anytime you need us on the blog at capitalweathergang.com 24/7. We're down from 14 hours and 54 minutes of daylight from sunrise to sunset, right near the summer solstice. So we are Slowly but surely getting those shorter days again, but still plenty of evening lights, still over 14 hours of daylight. It's all good right now. So let's see, what else do I have for you? The look ahead of 7 days worth of precipitation. By the time you talk to me, maybe next Sunday, we could have a ½ inch to 1.5 inches of rain, broadly speaking, in the area. Though I want to just caution, as we talked about a second ago, with downpours possible tonight, maybe even into tomorrow and tomorrow night. There could be a couple. Those downpours could put down a quick inch of rain, maybe more than an inch of rain, but no widespread flooding expected at this time. So that's the good news. But looking further ahead into next work week, kind of 8 days onward, we could maybe start needing the hose and sprinklers again for our gardens. We might need to water our crops a little bit more. This is the precipitation outlook, and it kind of is equal chances of wet or dry. No clear signal for us in the DC area, but when I see a slight chance for drier than average conditions this close to the mid-Atlantic, I think we could be kind of sunnier and drier more days than not, looking ahead to next work week again. And then here's a sneak preview on Saturday. I know we were talking about in Sperryville, Elizabeth, you wanted to talk about weekend plans. Here's a preview for temperatures. They could be generally in the 80s, but there could be some rain and clouds. At least on Saturday. A cold front is trying to complete its push through the region by Saturday. So with these temperatures, there could be some showers, maybe a storm as well. Elizabeth, you're most welcome. And Will, hello, good to hear from you as well. Thanks for tuning in, Will. Great to see you. Let's look at temperatures for more into the future, kind of in the 8 to 14 day time frame. This is again next work week, as we're kind of well into August, starting August 8th onward. We could see a decent chance. This is a very decent chance of temperatures being above average, which are generally, by this point in August, mid to upper 80s are still pretty much the norm. So at or above mid to upper 80s looks like it's on the table. 90s might be on the table as well, though that this is only probabilities and doesn't directly indicate kind of the magnitude of any heat. But when there's this good of a chance of mid to upper 80s, or excuse me, above being mid to upper 80s, I think 90 or higher is on the table this time of year. Now, could we add to our 21 days of 90 degrees or hotter this time of year? It's possible. We're still tracking below average year to date, which should be around 25.3. But I do see on the horizon, this is next weekend, we do have a moderate chance of excessive heat. Heat advisories criteria for this type of heat might be possible. We'll see as the National Weather Service and CapitalWeatherGang.com. We'll keep watching as we get to next weekend, but there is a moderate signal in the atmosphere that we could see excessive heat next weekend into early that week as well, to the 8th and 9th of August as well. So keep that in mind. We could be adding and catching up to our average year-to-date 90 degrees or hotter days that count. Tropics, quiet. Next 5 days, quiet. Hopefully stays that way. And we'll keep you posted as we get toward the peak of the season, typically around September 10th. And let's recap what's going on the next 48 hours. Here it is tonight. Red indicating the higher chance, over 15% chance of flooding downpours, kind of south and west and southwest of DC. In the red there, where more flood risk, threat from flooding downpours exists. That's where the stationary front is slowly pushing northward, but luckily losing some of its punch as it finishes its completion, moving northward for us tomorrow. That's why we get a little sunnier, a little hotter, a little steamier, but rain chances are a little bit lower for us tomorrow, a good deal lower, I would say. We just can't completely rule out a shower or a storm. And then once we get to Tuesday evening, we've got a cold front pushing through. This eventually lowers dew points again, lowers that humid feeling, and rain chances can't be ruled out, but generally around DC, fairly low rain chances into Wednesday as well. That could be the driest chance for a 0% chance of rain this week is Wednesday after this cold front moves through. So we're going to slowly clear out and get these multifaceted systems kind of out of our hair. They've just been dancing around us. We've got low pressure, a trough of low pressure. We've got a stationary front, a warm front, lots of moisture, and it's just really pestering our region. But luckily, moving out of here slowly but surely tomorrow, rain chances go down a notch, and then Tuesday night really go down even another notch into Wednesday. It looks awesomely dry and sunny on Wednesday, so that is exciting to think about. Some other weather adjacent items, the drought monitor is still looking pretty good for our region in the mid-Atlantic, and pollen is hanging very much under control. Grass wasn't counted in this latest reading, but we've got pretty good conditions for allergy sufferers, and that's the good news in that department as well. So rain department, pollen department, doing okay. And comfort conditions, here it is, dew points at or above 65 degrees, which is where we start really feeling it overall when it starts getting a little bit uncomfortable, if not moderately uncomfortable. As we can see, blues, that's what we want to see for fresher air. Those come into play by later September and October, where we have very few hours, percent of hours above 65 degree threshold for dew point. So this time of year, still dog days this summer, yellows, oranges, and reds. High percentage of hours are still at or above 65 degree dew points. So just showing this to you that we get a little bit better by the latter half of August and into September. So hang in there if you're not a fan of the hot and humid air. All right, so here's your forecast at a glance. Latest forecast, my PM update at CWG.news/latest, or anytime you need us, we're at the blog, capitalweathergang.com, of course. And we've got Elizabeth, you're enjoying these periodic rains. That's great. Dog days of August coming. Yes, indeed, David. I love that we're on the same page. And Doris needed the rain. Indeed, Potomac River has had some low water levels near you. I am not surprised. But yes, we have these high evapotranspiration rates of the year, but luckily we are not in a drought situation where the water table is being affected by any means, much less other agricultural issues right now. So that's the great news. Generally, the Mid-Atlantic, especially our side of the country overall, is doing much better than the Western United States as far as drought and water issues. Let's see. So Elizabeth, I think the temperature forecast has been used for a while, and it is not related to climate change. It just is a signal in the atmosphere. If we're going to talk about it, let me pull it up really quick. So this is that heat signal for excessive heat. It looks moderate. A moderate chance, which is a decent chance for excessive heat next weekend. Think along the lines of heat advisories, maybe heat index values above 100, 105 perhaps, maybe, hopefully not hotter, but remains to be seen. It is experimental, as you were seeing, because it is not high confidence, right? It is a product that they take a bunch of different background simulations, and they see that many of these simulations are kind of guiding the main operational weather model that drives most of our weather forecasts, but it's not a sure bet just yet. We could see heat. That's moderate chance of seeing excessive heat next weekend into early next work week, 8+ days out. But no, this does not include climate change. It's more of a signal that temperatures could be way above average for next weekend. So we will keep you posted on that. And yes, Aaron, I can't wait for the fresher days of September, October as well. First half of August, says Steve, sounds a lot like July. I think I agree with that. Our August outlook should be out tomorrow. My sneak peek at just some data in the background I looked at was August being a decent chance, moderate chance of being above average in the temperature department. And then precipitation, I think, actually has a slight chance of being above average as well. So that could portend some more muggy days ahead and some more storms and showers accompanying some of the warmth continuing into August. But remember, here's the good news if you don't like the heat. Average temperatures are coming down slowly but surely as we get into August. Judy, thanks so much for tuning in. You're most welcome for the update. And tropics are quiet, so that's some good news. If you are averse to having tropical activity in the Atlantic, that's the good news. Atlantic is quiet, but as we get toward the climatological peak of activity in the tropical Atlantic around September 10th, I expect we will be talking more about the tropics, and it is still expected to be an above average hurricane season with an above average number of named tropical systems. Current setup for tonight. Why we're seeing the downpours, and we'll check radar in a second. We've got a bunch of atmospheric ingredients coming together. This is a multifaceted system. I love that from the National Weather Service. This front south of us is slowly moving north toward DC. We have a wave of low pressure developing along it. We've got lots of moisture and instability in the atmosphere, a trough of low pressure. We have lift along the mountains as the moisture kind of hits the mountain slopes of the Appalachians. That's also lifting and causing more enhancements in the rain that we're seeing. So the good news is, and the red indicated here means over 15% chance of flooding downpours. Generally along the I-81 corridor is what we're watching. And luckily though, tomorrow, this rain threat does diminish. Can't completely rule out a downpour. Slight chance we see some patchy flooding here or there, but rain chances are lowering tomorrow. We'll see more sunshine. It will get a little bit steamy, a little bit hotter. But Tuesday, cold front is moving through Tuesday evening. This should clear us out for Wednesday, where there's a very good chance we have 0% chance of rain. Very high probability we see a completely dry day on Wednesday. So we'll get all these systems cleared out of here by late Tuesday night into early Wednesday. That is the good news. And we were talking about drought conditions around here behaving themselves. We have no issues for most of the mid-Atlantic, if not the entire kind of eastern third of the United States. And another weather adjacent item here is the pollen. That's behaving as well. Grasses weren't counted recently, but mold, spores for mold and mildew, weeds and trees, those are all very much under control. So if you're an allergy sufferer, I hope that you are feeling pretty okay lately like I am. Oh, so we're talking about the heat counter. Let's check that out. We've got so far 21 days of 90 degrees or hotter in the DC area, tracking below average for a year to date. Normally we see 25, 26 days by now, but luckily we are keeping it below average really quick. Pardon me, had to clear my throat. And and indeed, David, precipitation is up. We're doing pretty okay in the precipitation department, but we could add to our number of 90-degree days by this upcoming weekend into early next week. There's this heat signal, moderate chance of seeing excessive heat this upcoming weekend into next week, so we'll keep you posted. And indeed, the Climate Prediction Center sees a moderate probability of above average temperatures for next work week as well, so keep that in mind. And precipitation chances for next work week, 8+ days away, equal chances of seeing a little bit drier than average, a little bit wetter than average. And I even see in the orange here in the Ohio River Valley a slight chance of being below average precipitation. And that kind of just tells me that there's no major signal in the atmosphere around here. We might have to slightly pick up our watering efforts for our gardens and our crops next work week as well. Here's a sneak preview of Saturday temperatures. We've got a front in the area trying to move out this coming Saturday. Could keep temperatures held back into the 80s. Could be a little bit muggy though, and a little bit rainy at times, so we'll keep you posted. I know some of you have weekend plans to start thinking about as we get into this work week. And overall precipitation amounts, generally, we can expect some of this tonight. This is the next 7 days by the time you talk to me for our next Sunday, weekly Sunday Sunset Chat. By next Sunday, we've got a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of rain average around the region, but it only takes one quick downpour for a quick inch of rain, if not a little bit more. So in reality, this will be kind of a patchwork depending on whether or not you see some of these downpours, but broadly speaking, the region is going to see a good deal of rain, welcome rain this time of year, since it's usually so hot and with the highest evapotranspiration rates of the year. The sun is still very high, and we have very long days to evaporate our water, and the plant life is all very active. So this amount of rain is very welcome and very good for us to see this time of year. And we'll keep you posted if there are patchy instances of flooding. Tonight into perhaps tomorrow night, there's even a slight chance as well, but no widespread flooding currently expected. We'll keep you posted though at capitalweathergang.com. And thanks for joining me. The next minute and a half, let me know if you have any questions or comments before my 20 minutes is up. But I appreciate you tuning in to these weekly 20-minute chats, these weekly Sunday Sunset Chats. The Q&A is earlier now at 8:20 p.m. tonight is when we started, or 8:21. I was a little bit minute late, sorry about that. But we have earlier and earlier sunsets by several minutes each week, so expect to be talking to me before long. I don't like to say this, but before 8 p.m. I will miss the evening light myself, but I'm simulcasting to you right now on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you follow us on those 3 platforms at the very least. We're also on Instagram. Make sure you check us out there as well. And Kevin, indeed the 90-degree count could be added to soon, and luckily we've had fewer 70-degree low temperatures. That's excellent. I love the evaluation, Kevin. Thank you for that. All right, so let's do one more quick run through. Radar right now, very active. Could see another couple downpours, rumbles of thunder throughout the night tonight. But hopefully there's a decent chance. This is the heaviest activity moving through before midnight tonight. So fingers crossed, so far we've made it without any widespread flooding. And mainly these are downpours that kind of dump really quick rain on you and move along. They're not training and repeating over the same areas. And temperatures this week kind of head up a little bit, trending upward. Hottest day of this week is going to be Thursday. It looks like hot and steamy. Dew points generally below 70 degrees off and on. We could see mid-70s by Friday, which is pretty darn uncomfortable. And then let's take a quick look at the rest of this. Heat index values on Thursday, I'm flagging for the hottest day. Could see some 100-degree plus readings for the heat index. That's when you combine air temperature with humidity. Excessive rainfall, which means flooding downpours, they're possible tonight. Kind of 5%, 10% in the green. More, over 15% chance of seeing some instances of flooding in the yellow, which is along the I-81 corridor through tonight. And then even tomorrow into tomorrow night, can't completely rule out an errant, isolated downpour. Quickly, maybe doing a one-stop shop flooding here or there, but again, not widespread expected. Just be aware any rain that develops tomorrow, which we can't rule out, just could have some downpours associated with it. All right, so I will leave you with the forecast at a glance. Thanks for joining me. Have a good, safe week, and appreciate you tuning in. I'm Cameron Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com signing off. Latest forecast by PM update at CWG.news.